If you love me, won't you? Love me, won't you? Hello, and welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to take on each contestant, and we'll give you our feedback on their voice and overall performance. Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we'll keep it 100 with our feedback and critiques of each contestant's voice and overall performance. But what we're never here to do is come for anyone's character or any contestant as a human being. While we may come off, and we are today, a little pitchy at times, if you know what I mean, we'll always do our best to speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. And with that, oh, Stephanie, we have so much to talk about. The knockouts have officially, finally, after 2 weeks of waiting, begun.
Yes, and they did not disappoint.
Let's jump right in because we got a lot to cover.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So who do we have first, Stephanie? Oh, let me get my people up.
Okay.
All right, who do we have first today?
First up was from Team Blake. We had Noivas versus Tasha Jessen. Noivas sang I Put a Spell on You by Screamin' Jay Hawkins, but in the stylings of Nina Simone and Annie Lennox. Mm-hmm. And Tasha sang Take Me to Church by Hozier.
Okay. So, I knew this one was going to be difficult as all get out for Blake, because you have two incredibly gifted, strong singers, but completely different singers. Yeah. And I was really interested in this particular knockout round because both of these singers are not in Blake's wheelhouse of country western music.
Right.
So I was like, what is Blake going to do? But before we go there, we need to announce, because this person, I think, played a huge impact on the coaching.
Yes, thank you.
Of the night.
Yes.
So we'd be remiss without including the mega coach, which kind of brings us back full circle for Blake, because this was his very first celebrity coach or mentor. That he brought in all the way back to season 1. None other than the queen herself, Reba McEntire.
Yes.
Queen of country and western music, stage, television. You guessed it, all around entertainer. And I was very excited to have Reba on this round. Yeah. Because Reba not only knows singing, Reba knows performing.
Come on.
And there was a common theme I felt of tonight's singers before we get into Noivas and Tasha, that Reba really was like, I need you to sell me on this song. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's what she was basically telling everyone.
Yeah.
Some people, she didn't even have to tell.
Right.
Some people were like, you had me.
Right.
You had me. Because you were telling the story with this song, because Reba, we all know Reba is one of the best storytellers. So, starting with Noivas, one thing I loved about Noivas is that he was so geeked. Like, he was so excited.
Yeah.
the mega mentor, like, he was like, I'm from like, y'all don't know. Like he was like total fanboy over Reba. And she's so cool. Like, I could see like her being like, like somebody's auntie, right?
Exactly.
Auntie Reba.
Yes.
So Noivas, wow. When I heard, number one, the song, which I am familiar with, and number two, I'm most familiar with the version that he sang. I was like, wow. Now, I know Noivas is a showman. There's so much you can do with a Nina Simone, Annie Lennox cover of a song. And this was one of Nina's specifically. This was one of her signature pieces. And Nina Simone was an artist all her own, and brought with only what Nina Simone could bring to it. I loved what I heard in the rehearsal from Nueva.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, Nueva's given me all the drama, which if you know me, you know I love the drama. So he brought all the drama and he was singing. He was singing in rehearsal. But with Nueva, I was like, I know what Nueva's going to do because he is a showman.
Yeah.
And he has shown round after round that, Nueva did not come to play. He's like, I'm just not going to give you a song. I'm going to give you an entire performance and I'm going to give you a concert.
Right.
And this was, to me, Nueva showing that I can own the entire stage. Mm-hmm. And I am going to literally grab you by your collar and pull you in. And I'm not letting go until you focus on me because all attention is going to be on me. Nueva, I'm going to go venture and go off on a different direction with Nueva. I really love what he brings in the intensity of his quiet singing, of his of how he started the song, Stephanie.
Right.
Like, I immediately was drawn in. I was like, okay, yeah, you did put a spell. You did. You really did. I am so drawn on you. It was captivating. It was captivating. And then what did Nueva do? Nueva was like, okay, I'm gonna snap. I'm going to snap and get ready. You're going to get the tidal wave of the performance that Nueva always gives. And then one thing in watching it back, because I didn't actually get to watch it until this morning because I fell asleep early, but I watched it and then I watched it again in my good ears. One thing that I thought was masterful in the performance of Nueva is that the mic stand became a character.
It did?
Stephanie, it became he didn't just drag the mic around or carry it around or do whatever he was doing. It literally, I felt like it was a character in the story that he was trying to tell.
Right.
Like somebody almost like a person that just passed out.
Right.
And because they were overcome by the spell that he was casting.
Right.
He was dragging them around.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let you go. I ain't gonna let you go because I put a spell on you. And I just thought it was fantastic. I thought that it got a little too heavy towards the end. I thought, Nueva, I'm gonna tell you this because Stephanie will tell you. Stephanie will vouch for what I'm about to say. I am the exact same performer as you.
Yes.
Exact.
Yes.
Exact.
Yes.
And one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older in singing and in performing is that not to get so excited because I get very excited. Singing is my drug, right? It is my euphoria. It is my happy place. It is my supreme feeling, and I get very excited. And when you get excited, sometimes it can take away from the vocal quality because you were giving us wonderful vocal quality from probably about 90% of the song. And then I felt like when you got really excited at the end, I thought the growl was a little over, you pushed it a little bit. But what I thought was so masterful that you did is that at the very end of the song, you pulled it back. And that to me is a sign of growth and maturity in your singing. And it was beautiful. And I was like, you are undeniable. You are good enough. And you are doggone, I'm not going to cuss. You are doggone talented. And I just was like, dude, you stole that performance. You were like, listen, I got something to say. And you will put me through to the next one.
Absolutely.
So, what's your take on Nueva?
At the beginning, just like you were talking about, James, from the beginning of the performance where he was a little bit more reserved, I guess you would say, more controlled, I thought his vocal was so incredibly powerful And I love the melodic choices that he was making, some of the runs he was doing. It was really, really fantastic. And I was really excited to hear him just kind of stand there and sing for a little while, because it really reminded me of just how incredible of an artist he is, just standing there and singing, like incredible. So then after he started doing all the stuff with the mic stand or whatever, I had to kind of think about whether I liked it or not.
Oh, okay.
Because as much as I am for performance, sometimes I think that performance can take away a little bit, especially from the vocal. And I'm such a purist sometimes when it comes to this show, where I'm like, this is the voice. I want to hear the voice. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I think by the end, a little bit the vocal suffered with the growl, like the pitch suffered a little bit. But I had to check myself, and I definitely checked myself later on in another performance, and then thinking back to Noivas, and I was like, wait a minute. This song is called I Put a Spell on You. Mm-hmm. And what did he do? He put a spell on us, so much so that in Chance's remarks, he was like, bro, I felt like you were talking to me.
He's like,
yes. And I was like, you know what?
And they were like, yo.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? All the dragging of the mic stand and all that, and the vocal, because the vocal, like a lot of the vocal, yes, a lot of the vocal, even within that part, was really dynamic and really, really great and really well executed. And I had to think about the full entirety of the performance. And I landed on, okay, this song is basically saying, I'm a little crazy, and that's what he gave us.
It went towards manic, right?
Yes. Yes.
And Stephanie, that's a really good point. I never even thought of it like that. Like, if you really think of the lyrics of this song, ooh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That changes my perspective a little bit too.
Yeah. So in the end, I was like, you know what? That was really well done.
Oh yeah.
And I think that I would have looked back on the performance had he not done all that and said, maybe he should have done more, which is interesting. So I really love all the theatrics, because I think that is what that song demanded. I thought it was an interesting song choice as well. I would have never picked that song for him. So the one piece of feedback that I do have is what I know about Noivas is that he is an incredible singer. What I don't know is what kind of album he would make. I'm not really sure of what kind of artist he is. And that's okay. That's okay, because there have been other artists in this show and in past seasons where I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what they would do, but I'm here for it, because the vocal
don't necessarily have to be a recording artist, right?
and that's absolutely correct.
He could go many different lanes.
Yeah, he actually could.
He could do shows.
Yes. Yes.
He could, and I'm not talking about just theater. I'm talking about or musical theater. I'm talking about, like, and please don't think of this as like, I'm talking about like headliners at like a residency,
right?
Like residencies,
right?
Things like that,
right?
Like, I hate to use the term casino because it has a stigmatism. No, Celine,
right?
Okay, had a residency.
Come on.
Boyz II Men had a residency,
right? Yeah, Usher,
a residency,
yes,
right now.
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he could be a resident performer.
Oh, for sure, because he's going to give us a show, and he's going to give us a wide range of material and a wide experience, I think.
Yeah.
So overall, I really love the performance.
Mm-hmm. I did too. Mm-hmm. I did too. You can't take your eyes off of him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Larger than life personality, yes. And his personality just bleeds he sweats personality.
That's right.
It comes through his pores.
That's right.
And like he took all of their collars.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So he his knockout battle, I guess, if you want to call it that, but his knockout was against a formidable contestant on this show,
absolutely.
in Tasha.
Yes.
And y'all, Tasha, I was not looking for, I got to be honest with you, Stephanie, I was not looking forward to this song. I think it's overdone. I think there have been too many covers of it.
Okay.
I thought I was a little nervous for Tasha because I know how rangy the song is.
Right.
And I was like, and then when, they really didn't play it, but Blake was giving her the note of watch your lows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then he gave her wonderful advice where he said, breathe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he's like, I know you have it.
Right.
He's like, if you don't have it, I'm not sure about the key, but being that I think you do have it, it's all about breathing.
Yeah.
And so Tasha, Tasha is going to take that note and run with it. Mm-hmm. And I thought she did. Tasha, you made me like the song again. Because I thought it was, I something about the song it's just overdone, and I just was like, oh, okay. I mean, but Tasha, your vocal was sick. Like it was crazy. Tasha, you make all the right choices vocally. Mm-hmm. Like all the right choices, like the way you navigate a song is it's PhD level. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And through this, I just was like, as she was singing, I was like, Blake has the hardest, stupid choice to make. Yeah. Because Tasha is giving us something completely different. Tasha could have easily been intimidated to follow Noivas. Are you kidding me? To follow Noivas?
Exactly. Especially since homie took a long time to get up off the floor, which I kind of loved, to be honest with you, because these are knockouts. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm singing for my life. So I am going to stretch this out for as long as I can and leave my full impression and let you know that I really want this.
To me, this should be called the battle round because it really
it really is.
I always want to call this round battles because I feel like because it's two singers, and like Blake said, he's like, this is a round where they get to select the song.
Yes.
We get to say, this is who I am. This is what song I'm singing. So it's where song choice comes into. And Tasha, let me tell you, like, it's just, I really don't have a critique for her voice. Like, I like, there's nothing I can say that she does. It's just pleasant. It's pleasant to see a singer with such flawless execution. Right. And makes it look so easy. Mm-hmm. Because again, this song is no small feat. No small, especially for a female voice. Yeah. It's no small feat at all. And I think someone said, I can't really remember if it was Niall or Chance, or someone said, Tasha, you did things on this song that Hosier couldn't do. Right. Right. And that was, I think Niall may have said it. That was probably one of the best compliments. Right. Because again, what Tasha did with the song was just crazy. Right. I love her tone. I love her vibrato. Tasha, again, I said this in a previous cast. I said, Tasha can give you many different genres in one vocal line. Right. She's that specific. She can give you different genres. Like Tasha, in your previous comment about Noivas, I think in regards to Tasha, I think Tasha could record multiple genres and be successful in multiple genres. Yeah. She's got that type of voice. Mm-hmm. She can. She's a master of her voice. Right. Yeah. So what's your take?
She is our soul storyteller. Yeah. There is just the soul is just dripping from her voice. I thought that her lows had a really great control to them. And I think that what Blake was talking about in the rehearsal was that the lows seemed a little low, but then once it got to the higher part or the highest part of the song, that was hitting almost at her, I don't want to say at her max, but she was hitting those well, that I think that he was afraid of upping the key.
Right.
But the lows were so beautiful, the way she was singing them. I love the way that she articulates her words. I love the ends of her phrases and the vibrato that's at the end of her phrases. That's just, it makes me feel warm. It just makes me feel warm. The last chorus of the song, I felt like she had a controlled snap. Like she did some things that were really, really incredible, but I felt like she was controlling it just a little bit. And I almost wish she would have done the complete snap, which she kind of did. Like by the time she finished the song, she kind of like not flopped, but she kind of like, did something with her body. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I think he's still on that stage somewhere.
Her full voice is incredible. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Her melodic choices, her overall tone is just so cool. And again, just like you said, James, I feel like she could sing many different genres, which kind of lends itself to the storyteller aspect of what I hear in her voice. I hear her singing a whole variety of things.
You know what is also, and this goes far beyond aesthetics, but she's a stunning singer to watch.
Yes,
of course she's a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
But some singers, when they sing, like Patti LaBelle, they ugly. Like they make all the crazy faces and contorted, vowels and all that.
Right.
But to watch her sing, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
It's beautiful to watch her sing, and I think that has something to do with also her spirit.
Oh yeah,
and who she is.
Absolutely.
And all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning to watch.
Yes.
Even like when she snapped.
Yes.
It was stunning. Like you said, it was very controlled.
Yeah.
But it was incredible to watch too.
Absolutely.
So, I was shocked with this one.
You were.
Like I said earlier, I was shocked in a good way.
Okay.
Because I was nervous.
Yeah. Yes.
I knew Noivas gave us a performance that couldn't be denied.
Right.
But then for her to come and do what she did, I was like, okay, is someone going to get sent home this early?
Right.
Especially these are, in my opinion, two of Blake's strongest.
Absolutely.
So I was like,
yeah.
Okay. But what happened?
So Blake ended up choosing Noivas as the winner. And then as Tasha was giving her thank yous to Blake, Niall hit his button. So Tasha is on Team Niall. He stole her for his team. Which, again, he did.
A huge pickup for Niall.
And I think that I knew that they had steals, of course. I guess I just didn't consider that there would be a steal early because I figured that there might be a steal later. So I didn't think that there would be a steal coming. I'm so glad.
That's bold for Niall. That's bold for Niall because there was another artist a little bit later that Niall said, I wish I had a steal.
Right.
But that's bold for Niall to steal so early. But this was one of the couple of ones that happened tonight where they both had to stay.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
All right, Stephanie. So who's next?
Next up was from Team Kylee. We had Allie versus Marcos Cavos. Allie sang Best Part by Daniel Caesar featuring her, and Marcos sang Jesus Take the Wheel by Carrie Underwood.
First, before I get into the performances, that doggone Reba McEntire. You want to talk about somebody who can speak life.
Come on.
Someone.
Yeah.
the way she spoke life into Marcos,
Mm-hmm.
just she is a special woman.
Yes.
Reba is a very special woman,
Mm-hmm.
because artists don't have to do that.
Right.
To me, I think they do have to do that.
Yeah.
But if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, they don't have to do that,
Right.
because they've already arrived.
Right.
But you and I believe Stephanie is like, you ain't too big, you ain't that big, right?
Right.
But for her to speak the life that she spoke into him, I thought was wonderful. I also love that it showed that, Marcos is someone who struggled with his coming out with his family,
Yeah.
and how he said, it's interesting. I chose this song is because I always kept God close.
Mm-hmm.
Even in my darkest times of, my family not accepting who I was and blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, that's a stand-up person.
Right.
It really is. So let me jump into the vocal. Like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, I didn't get to watch last night. And I must applaud my partner in crime here, Stephanie, because if I would have watched first, like Stephanie watched before me, I'd have lost my mind. I'd have picked up that phone or text or whatever, and I've been screaming on the phone to Stephanie. Stephanie, she didn't call, she didn't text, and she didn't warn me. For Allie. Now we've heard this song. This song is this song is what we like to call a neoclassic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it is a new classic song.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come out. This song is maybe 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
At least it came out less than 5 years ago, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an instant classic. And we've heard different versions of this song.
Mm-hmm.
Allie, I'm going to put you, and I didn't tell Stephanie this earlier when we had talked about, briefly talked about how we felt about last night's performances. Like, you are up there. Seriously. You're up there with Jasmine Sullivan. You're up there with Fantasia Barrino. Like seriously. And I get chills saying that because these two, like, you really can't put anyone in the same category as them.
Right.
You are a revelation. Like, your voice is a revelation. And the miracle that is happening every time you open your mouth with, what you've been, I believe your hearing impairment is your blessing. It's your superpower.
Right.
Somebody else wouldn't call it that, but
right.
That's what Stephanie and I are going to call it.
Yeah.
It is your superpower.
Yeah.
Because like Kelly has said repeatedly, you just hear different.
That's
you
right.
feel different. Music is just completely different. And you know what? If I was studying, like if I was an ENT, I'm an ear, nose, and throat doctor, you'd be my, and I was doing a PhD, I'd write a dissertation on you.
Right.
Because you would be my study of the miraculousness of what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and watched you, Allie, a few times, and I wanted to really, really hone in on a couple of points because Stephanie and I could both talk an hour probably about this performance. And I'm staying calm so I can collect my thoughts and get through this. But if I get excited, and oh well. There's something that you do at the end of your phrases that as a vocal coach or voice teacher, you kind of tell your singers not to do, but you do it. And it's what makes your voice so incredible. You actually open your sound up, like you kind of like open and spread your vowels at the end of your phrases, like, if you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Like, it's like, I can only, I can only slightly demonstrate it. And I just was like, what is it about that makes her voice at the levels of Fantasia and Jasmine and singers like that? It's because you do something that is technically not supposed to be done, but you do it and you're the best at it. And it just sounds so crazy. I've talked about your runs, Allie. I'm not going to talk about your runs because we've talked about your runs time and time and time. Stephanie is like, I'm going to talk about the runs. We talk about your runs time and time and time again about how they are just the most unique runs. But the thing that also, and this is more towards like the whole Fantasia side that of your voice, is the back phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
You are a masterful back phraser.
Yeah.
That means not only do you have a good sense of pitch and tone, but you have a remarkable sense of rhythm.
Yeah.
Now, I know you get it from your daddy because your daddy's a drummer.
Yeah.
So I know that came honest.
Mm-hmm.
And if your mom sings anything like you do,
yeah. Oof,
this,
Lord.
seriously. So it is, y'all have to understand, back phrasing singing is so difficult to execute flawlessly. But when it's done, there's nothing like it.
Right.
Because it always feels like you are not even a full beat behind, not even a half a beat behind, but it always feels like you're catching up.
Yeah.
To the flow of the song, but it's done so melodically that it just works. Mm-hmm. And her back phrasing on specifically this one, I was just sitting, I was enamored.
Yeah.
I was like wholly astonished by you as an artist, Allie.
Yeah.
Like seriously. And the thing that also I love about you, Allie, is we don't even talk about this about you, Allie. Your range.
Come on. Come on.
You're singing straight tenor notes. And then you got this Shaka Khan extension in your voice.
Come on.
And I'm just like, this is crazy.
It's crazy.
I called Stephanie up this morning. I said, that was dirty.
It was dirty.
That was so dirty. Allie, it was so dirty. And Stephanie brought up a good point. She said, Allie would just have to prick you with that knife.
Come on.
And you would need a tetanus, rabies. You need the Paxlovid for COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say, take a COVID test. Yep.
Antiviral, antibacterial remedy. Because your knife is so filthy that it is scary. The sky's the limit for you, young lady. You are a phenom.
Absolutely.
Stephanie.
I mean, what do you even say at this point? Allie's voice makes me feel at home. Allie's voice is like my heart language, and I've probably said something to the effect before. Musically, the way that she sings, and the tone of her voice, and the inflections in her voice, and the way her melodic choices are my music heart language. Allie's voice and her throat has been seasoned with the finest of Baptist chicken oil and Kool-Aid. Like, that's what it sounds
like. The oil that you put up in the tin can on the counter after you cook in it.
Yes.
You reuse it over
and over. There is just so much soul dripping from.
It's deep, too.
It's deep. I don't even know what else to say. The runs were ridiculous. No, there was one more thing I wanted to say. I loved the way that she communicated this song. She used the full extension of her arm. She used her face. She used her body. She emoted this song so beautifully that even outside of her voice, if I had the volume turned off, which I wouldn't because it's Allie singing, but should my speakers have cut off for some reason, watching her emote and perform this song in and of itself was so beautiful. It was so gorgeous.
It was gorgeous singing.
It was gorgeous singing, gorgeous presence. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a clinic.
It was the clinic.
Clinic with that. To me, I already thought this song was fire.
Right.
Like, it just made me fall in love with it all over again.
Right. Now, one more thing. I would love to hear Allie sing some gospel. We got a snippet of her singing I Won't Complain on her Instagram. She posted. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I would love it.
That's another one I put you in the same category as.
Absolutely.
Like, Allie. Like, I put you up there with the greatest.
Absolutely.
Today.
Absolutely.
Like, seriously. Mm-hmm. You are a phenomenal singer.
Right.
Artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember thinking when Allie got done, I was like, how could Marcos follow that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because first of all, I love Jesus Take the Wheel. Come on, Carrie Underwood.
Come on.
I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Take the Wheel actually is had me like fall in love with country music all over again because of that song. Mm-hmm. It's an incredibly written song.
Yeah.
And I just love where it goes melodically.
Yeah.
I just love everything about that song. Mm-hmm. It was truly heartfelt from Marcos. Mm-hmm. Like you could tell that that song meant something. And anyone who's gone through something and, whatever you believe, and has had to rely on a higher power, to get you through that something. Right. A song like that's going to hit, right? It's gonna hit a certain way. Mm-hmm. I really like when Marcos opens his voice up. Mm-hmm. I like the big part of his voice. Yeah. Because that to me, I think that was one of the first things that grabbed me with his voice. Like when he opens his voice up, it's an incredible instrument. Right. And I just felt that maybe the emotion got to him a little, like the emotion of the song, the emotion of the moment got to him a little bit. So there were some pitch issues. Right. And this song also is one of those songs that Stephanie and I talk about. Is like when in country and western singing that sometimes like you gotta be laser focused on that pitch. Yeah. Because because of the twang of the song. Right. It can go pitchy. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it was a little pitchy, but I felt like it was a solidly delivered performance by him. And I felt like he killed it. Like second half of the song, especially, I felt like he really, really sang his face off to show us why he's gotten this far in the competition. Right. What about you? Again, just like you said, I was like, how is Marcos gonna follow this? I love the song choice. I thought that the beginning of the song was really beautiful. I thought that the end of the song was really powerful. I, like you, believe that some of the emotion got to him. Middle of the song towards the end, I felt like, and it's interesting because when I listened to it on TV, it did sound pitchy to me. Yeah. When I put it in my good ears, the part that I thought was pitchy really wasn't that pitchy.
It's so
Okay.
interesting how things sound different in your ears.
Sure.
I think some of what I felt as I was watching it in real time was the beginning of it was kind of very simple melodies, very kind of melodically simple, if you will,
Yeah.
right? Right. And that kind of just repeated itself, and he kind of kept it right there. Once you got into the chorus, he did all the runs, which is great, but I feel like it might have been a little disconnected with how the beginning of the song started. It didn't feel like a proper build. It felt like we were on flat land, and then all of a sudden we ran up the hill.
You know what, Stephanie? That brings up a really good point, because you know how sometimes like you learn a song, but you learn it disjointed.
Yeah.
Like you hear a song on the radio and the chorus is real catchy, as in you take the wheel.
Right.
But then if you want to learn and sing this song, you got to go back and learn the verses too.
Right.
So you're like, ooh, here's my part. Here's the part that I know. Here's
right.
my part.
Yeah.
But you got to go back and, like you said, it's got to be a full connection.
Yeah.
Because that's how it takes you actually on a journey.
It does.
I literally, when Carrie sings that song, I literally picture this car spinning on a patch of ice, right?
Right.
And that's probably the most important part of the song.
Right.
I mean, yes, the chorus is iconic, but I like the storytelling part of the song too. So
right.
Really good point, Stephanie.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that he runs really well, if you will. Like, the runs were really cool. I just thought that it was a lot of it in a small section of song, and it made it difficult to hear, honestly, whether there were pitch issues or not, because it was kind of just like a lot. It was like fireworks. Marcos has an incredible instrument. He has a wonderfully powerful voice, and he also is a really great storyteller. I do think, though, that the overall picture of it, I felt like the emotions got a little bit to him. So I think that I made this point last season. I'll make this point again this season. It is great if you pick a song that you are close to emotionally, because that helps you to emote. You just have to be careful when you pick a song that is emotional for you, that you are in control enough to convey that emotion, but not allow the emotion to overtake you and to affect your vocal. So that would be my piece of advice.
Absolutely. Winning the knockout, Steph.
So Allie won. Kelly picked Allie to win this knockout.
Decisively.
Yes. Yeah.
Look, y'all, Allie, she
slayed.
She did. All right, so who's next? Because we got so much more to talk about.
Yes, we do. Next is from Team Nile. We had Gina Miles and we had Cait Cosentino. Gina sang Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier featuring Kimbra, and Cait sang Call Me by Blondie.
All right. So, Gina, you know what? Let me tell you. Let me start with Gina. Man, she is cool as a cucumber. Like, I like that. Like, to me, her shyness translates, you know how some people's shyness translates to nervousness?
Right.
Or like meek.
Yeah.
And like scared.
Right.
Her shy to me translates to chill. And like she gives me a chill, cool vibe. Like, when she talks, she's like, I was really excited that Reba was here. You know?
Right.
I like her whole vibe.
Yeah.
But like Reba was like, I was concerned because of how, shy and quiet and soft-spoken she is. When this girl opens her mouth.
Right.
Gina, she has got one of the coolest voices this season.
Oh, yeah.
Gina, the first person I thought of, and Kelly Clarkson done stole my thunder with this. I was going to mention this on the podcast, but I'm going to reiterate what Kelly said.
Yeah.
The first first person I thought of was Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine. It is an undeniable, incredibly artistic, very specific voice.
Yes.
But the next singer that reminds me of who I believe passed, a few years back. Oh, wow, it's been a minute since she passed. But Dolores O'Riordan, the lead singer of the Cranberries. I hear Cranberries in her voice,
I hear Cranberries in her voice.
As a '90s kid, I hear Cranberry. I need her to sing "Linger." Like I need her to sing "Do You Have to Let It Linger" on this show. Like I need that in my life. And these are voices that are 1 in a million voices. And I just love what she did with this song, because there's another song that I just think like it's got a catchy chorus. And I remember when this song came out a few years back, I just was like, it's cool. But
I love this song.
I just love the artistic interpretation she brought to this song. And like Reba said, when that girl got her arm moving.
Come on.
When she got her arm moving.
Come on.
Like Gina's got another gear.
Oh, listen. Come on.
Like she's got another gear in her voice.
Oh, yeah.
I love, love, love. I'm going to talk about this with another singer, but I love what Gina does is that she doesn't give us too much of that gear. She pulls it out when she needs to, and that to me makes it more effective.
Right.
And I just like, especially to go back and hear this in my good ear.
Ooh.
Because Gina is such a nuanced singer.
Yes.
That's our word.
Yes.
It's all about the nuances.
Yes.
And you gotta really have some good ears in to catch everything that she does.
Yeah.
Tricks in her voice, right?
Yeah.
And I love the yodel, I call it the Alanis flip.
Yes.
That she has in her voice, the 90s progressive rocker female singer, that thing that she does.
Yes.
Reminds me of the singer of the Cranberries, Dolores. But Florence Welch does the same thing. And I just, and I'm gonna go back to another point Stephanie made earlier. I see an album. Like I so clearly see what type of album she dropped.
Oh yeah.
And it would be fire.
It would be fire.
It was and she's got a great, like her shyness. Another thing about her shyness that I love that kind of comes out in her artistry is there is a mystery about her.
Come on, mystery.
Like it's mysterious.
Yes, it is.
Like she has a haunting mysteriousness to her voice.
Yes.
And then she opens it up and you're like, oh, okay, well there she is.
Yeah.
Right? But the softer part of her voice, the more ethereal sounding part of her voice, or the 90s progressive rock sound of her voice is very mysterious. And I love it.
Yeah.
And that comes out through her personality. But but don't sleep on her, y'all. Don't sleep on her. She may not come with the big power ballad, but she's crazy. Yeah. Crazy talented.
Yes.
What's your take on Gina?
Oh, I love Gina's voice. She has one of my favorite voices of the season. It is so interesting. I feel like I never know exactly what she's going to do, but every choice that she makes, I'm like, yes, yes, that choice. She does some really interesting things at the ends of her lines because all of her lines are finished. But again, I never know what she's going to do at the end of some of those lines. Her choices are incredible. Again, her yodel, like you were saying, and I love the way she doesn't do it too much. She will just toss it in there a couple times during the song as just like these little surprises. I love that. I would love for Gina to go to a couple classes of the Kala Emoting School of Stage Presence because Kala is very much in the same realm as Gina, but Kala has found a way to emote a little bit more on stage than Gina does. So if
It's
Gina,
a muted emoting,
yeah,
but very effective.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's face, it's body,
Yeah.
it's slight movements on this. It's the walking on the stage, you know, and that's just going to come with more experience. You know, Gina told us at Blinds, I have not been on many stages. So how can you build stage presence other than being on stages? So I feel like this whole experience is a fast track to learning how to manage a stage and how to see what you look like on stage and adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
I like this song. I love this song, actually.
You do?
I do. I don't know if it's the music. I think it's all of it. It's all of it for me. And I think that she did an excellent job with this song.
Awesome. All right. So who did she I keep wanting to say battle. Who did
she was up against, she was up.
Knockout battle.
Okay.
So we don't confuse it.
Okay.
Who did she knockout battle?
She was with Cait. She was going against Cait.
And Cait sang
Call Me by Blondie.
Wow. Big, iconic song.
I never realized how hard this song was until Cait started singing and I started kind of doing like mental note tracking in my mind, being like, okay, she's down here now. She's here now. She's here now. She's.
Yep. Da, 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 da. Yeah. It's oh yeah. Yeah. Don't sleep on Blondie, y'all.
Don't sleep.
On it. Don't sleep on it. Yeah. The thing that, number one, I was most impressed with, anyone that plays an instrument.
Come on.
Along with their singing and just doesn't just sit there and strum chords. No, Cait was playing. Cait was really playing, y'all. And you really noticed it in the practice session. That Cait was really taking lead guitar on that. And that I was number one impressed with that. I'm always impressed with what Cait does vocally. I think vocally, she is so strong. And I think that she has a incredible grasp of her instrument.
Yeah.
I struggled with the arrangement a bit, Stephanie. I'm going to say.
Okay.
It didn't go enough. It didn't go where I wanted it to go. And maybe because, and this was, I think, totally left to her artistic interpretation, because she said, I want to do a more jazzy version of this song.
Right.
And to me, this song is kind of like early punk, right?
Yeah.
It's early punk rock music. And so I wanted a little bit more comedy. I wanted a little bit more of that, a little bit more grit to it. Which I know that's where she didn't want to take the song. Right. So but I didn't feel like the song gave me enough levels. And that's just, again, I think that had a lot to do with the arrangement. Okay. I really appreciate art, but I do appreciate her as an artist. Like, I appreciate that she wanted to give a different take to the song, because this is a song that could give us karaoke. Like, this is a song that could easily go down the karaoke and somebody's just doing a copy. Right. Of Blondie, because the song is so iconic. With Debbie Harry on the vocals. Yeah, so I was I a big fan of it? Not necessarily. I thought that this was not her strongest performance. I'm still going back to her initial Blind. Like, and I loved her Blind audition. Like, that was my favorite. And that's why I was like, yo, who's this? And I don't know, her energy seemed a little muted for me. Okay. Yeah. Why are you laughing?
This was my favorite performance from her. It really was.
We said we were going to have some dissonance today.
Yes, and I love it.
Anytime you make that face, I'm like, what? Where's Stephanie going? All right, so why, Stephanie? Talk to me. Prove me wrong, Stephanie.
Well, I don't want to prove you wrong. I just want to state my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you were talking about the arrangement and how it was a little less gritty and a little more jazzy. I think that was smart on her part because she does not have a gritty voice. That's true. So it would not have worked, I don't think, with her quality of voice and the way that she sings for her to do a dirtier, rockier, grittier version. I thought that it was smart, the version that she did. I also really liked how she started it off slow to kind of highlight her vocal at the beginning of the song, which for her battle with Tiana, I felt like that song did not showcase either one of their voices really well just because of the song choice. So I thought that it was smart for her to start the song off slow to showcase her vocal. Now, as it got more up tempo, I was like, oh, I was reveling in the character of her voice. However, I didn't know whether she was landing all of her notes or whether she was pitchy. I put that vocal in my ears and I was so impressed with what I heard. I thought that she gave a really special vocal, and I say special in this reason. There were no pitch issues. There were really cool melodic choices. And on top of all of that, the character that she brings to a vocal was all there. She has a very kind of theatrical voice in a way that she almost takes on a character. And there are points where it does sound a little talky and a little theatrical, I guess is the best way that I can say it. But it was done so brilliantly well. And it was so nuanced what she was doing that I understand why I didn't hear it when I was just watching it on TV, because it was so nuanced that it's not that I was barely hearing it in my ears, but it was so a lot of the things she was doing were so quick. It was like at the very ends of lines and phrases where she was doing things that were really, really unique and really, really cool stuff that nobody else on this show is doing. That's true. And I feel like because it was so nuanced, because it was so quick, and because of how we know that they are hearing within that theater, sound stage, whatever you want to call it, that some of the things that she was doing probably did not get picked up. So it's a shame that it didn't, because I thought that she gave an incredible performance. And like I said, I think that it was her best performance the whole competition. I really do. And I surprised myself because I didn't know how I felt about the performance when I saw it live. I was like, that was okay. I put that thing in here and I was like, wow, she is doing a whole lot with this song.
Okay. I need to go back and listen to it. I really do. All right. So how did it turn out with this round?
So it turned out that Niall picked Gina, and he was on the struggle bus. He was on the struggle bus for real. Like, he wasn't really sure what he was going to do. And I think that he said he just had to go with his gut feeling, and his gut feeling was for Gina.
For Gina. Yeah. Gina's a voice that needs to continue to be heard because, like you said, they both of these ladies have unique sounds that no one else has on this competition.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad one of them are through.
Yes.
Because I need that uniqueness to break away from some of the other singing done on this show. I need that different lane.
Absolutely.
Gina's bringing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what do we have next?
Next up is from Team Chance. We had NariYella and we had NariYella. NariYella sang Bust Your Windows by the Jasmine Sullivan, and Ray sang Lately by Stevie Wonder.
Wow. Two huge songs.
Yes.
And if we remember last season, this was one of our favorite battles to watch. Remember when they did Bust Your Windows last season, and the two ladies really battled it out.
Yes, they did.
So I love this song because this song even though it's a serious song, it can be done playfully. Like because it's an up tempo, right? It's an up tempo, and it's like staccato, right? Now Jasmine jazzifies it.
Yeah.
Not jazz music. Jazzifies meaning Sullivanizes it.
Yes.
In the way that she does.
Yes.
But whoever wrote this song, I'm not sure who wrote this song, but I just think it's a brilliantly written. So it's a very clever song.
Oh, absolutely.
Like clever. To take an incident of somebody's car getting jacked up. So starting with NariYella, oh gosh, Stephanie, you're probably going to disagree with me, but I'm just going to say it. This was my favorite performance of hers. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it was my favorite performance of hers, because it was like a chill NariYella. Like it was a smooth her. And I don't think we've gotten that from her. We've gotten big singing.
Yeah.
Thus far from her.
Yeah.
And what I love that she did on this song is she found a way to take a Jasmine Sullivan song and not try to compete with Jasmine on this song.
Right.
So I thought she sang it straight.
Mm-hmm.
Like she didn't do any, like there wasn't the riffs and the runs that you're going to get from Jasmine,
right,
and from a lot of people who cover this song.
Right.
And to me, a lot of people, when they cover it, struggle with the song because they're trying to compete with one of the greatest runners or riffers of all time, Jasmine Sullivan.
That's a no-no.
And you can't do that. So I liked chill NariYella. Like I liked what she brought to the vocal. Yeah. And maybe some of it has to do with how much I love this song. Like it's one of those songs that I could never get, like it could never be played enough. Like
right,
it would never get played out for me.
Right.
Because I just love when every once in a while you get a really cleverly written song.
Oh yeah.
Another song like that reminds me of a song that I never get tired of is like No Scrubs. Like because it's so, like Candy Burris wrote a really clever song.
Yes, she did.
Because it's one of those songs that like a lot of people say, get out of my head, right? Yeah, and it's the whole these things, right?
And it's the whole common theme. It's like what we were talking about with what I brought up, Unholy by Sam Smith. Yes. It's like a common theme, but heard in a completely different, in a unique way.
Correct.
That is still relatable, but you're telling the story using different words and different language.
To me, this really brought out the artistry to show that NariYella has range. And I think that's what I loved about this performance by her the most. It showed that she could bring it in and she could tell. I thought she told the story.
Okay.
Because this is a song that you must tell the story on.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. So Stephanie.
I thought NariYella sang the heck out of this song, and I completely agree. The vocal was great.
It was.
The melodic choices were smart because there's only one.
Smart.
They were smart. There's only one Jasmine Sullivan, and there are only less than a handful of folk that can try to run.
Look, and one of them's on this show.
And one of them's on this show, and she has a gift. So
an out of this world
gift. An out of this world gift.
Yeah.
But I thought that NariYella sang this song really beautifully. Here's what I will say.
Okay.
it's funny that you use words like chill and smooth because I completely agree. This is Bust Your Windows.
I had
you know where I'm going.
Like too chill, too smooth. Like you can be too like it wasn't like this is a song that you don't need to be chill and smooth on. Is like that where you're going with this?
So yes. So going back to Noivas, when I heard and saw NariYella perform this song, for half of it I closed my eyes.
Right.
Because the vocal was just incredible.
Yeah, she was singing it.
She was singing it down. And like I said, very smart melodic choices. When I opened my eyes, the performance aspect is where she lost me a bit. Because if we're talking about Bust Your Windows, I'm enraged. You have hurt me so bad.
I want to bring harm to your
I want to hurt the property that I know that you love. Because if I hurt you the way that I might hurt this property, I'm going to go to jail.
I'm going to catch a case. Right.
I'm going to go to jail. So there is a sense of crazy.
Yeah.
Just like with Noivas, there's a sense of crazy to that song.
Right. Yeah.
So what I thought NariYella did was gave a kind of in-between performance. It wasn't crazy enough.
Right.
I wanted her, if she was going to do anything performance-wise, I wanted her to be as over the top as Noivas was. Or just stand there at the mic and give us all kinds of crazy bass.
Yeah.
Bust the windows out your car. Like, exactly. Something to convey, like, I'm about to lose my mind. And I'm either going to show you physically or I'm going to keep it in here because I don't want to lose my mind, but you're going to see what I'm going through.
And to your point, if you think about this song, the reason why this song is so clever and so effective is you can feel the rage building up in this song. Like, it's almost as if you start the song talking about, I'm talking about it. By the end of the song, you are smashing those windows in.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I get it, Stephanie.
Absolutely.
That's a really, really, really good take. I love it. I love it.
The arrangement of it also I did not love because they took the strings out, which was probably another intentional choice to make it different. But I think and I was telling my husband this, that the strings of it makes it even more haunting.
Yeah.
And adds to the drama and the crazy and the angst.
Feel, right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
Strings, like, I'm not going to say the strings like dignifies it because ain't no dignification in busting windows.
Right.
But
right.
It gives it a like, I am classily, that's not a word, but I made
exactly.
it up. Classfully, let me make
exactly
another word. I'm classfully gonna break your
ish. Yeah.
Like, but I'm gonna do it with class.
Exactly. And I thought that the it was very, instead of being string heavy, it was very piano heavy. And I thought that added a different, like a more magical kind of effect for me, which kind of took away from the overall song. So again, she sang the song down.
She did.
She, like, the vocal was flawless. Mm-hmm. It was just the other things about it that just did not fully connect with me.
Exactly. So moving on to Ray. Ray sang the iconic, one of the greatest male ballads ever written lately by Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And this song is one of those songs that, there's a handful of songs that hold a special place in my heart. It was like one of those, where were you when you first heard this song?
Mm-hmm.
And then where were you when you first heard Joe Desi cover this song?
gosh.
never, because this happened when I was very young. Because I remember, if any of you listen are from, your 90s kids, you know that in the early 90s, Arsenio Hall had a late night talk show that competed against like Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, and David Letterman. And at one time, like Arsenio was winning, like he was winning the late night war.
Yeah.
And I will never forget where I was, because I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I was sneaking it because I knew Jodeci was going to sing that night. And I didn't know what Jodeci was going to sing. And this is when Jodeci was like early 90s, is when they were at the top of their game.
Right.
And they came, like Casey and JoJo came out and sang this song.
Yeah.
And it was such an iconic, it was like lightning captured in a bottle. Like when Mariah did the Unplugged, right?
Right.
Or Maxwell when he did the Unplugged.
Right.
It's all early 90s stuff. It was lightning captured in a bottle. I remember it was such a flawless performance of this song that they actually recorded it and turned it into a professional recording, the live version of this song. Mm-hmm. And what was even crazier is like Stevie Wonder was sitting in and playing. And there was this one part I'll never forget that Stevie was playing, and it just out of nowhere. He said, "I love the way you sing my song." It's just, every time I think of this song, like I think about just the times when I was a kid and I used to sneak in to watch performances on SNL and, staying up way past my bedtime.
Right.
In these shows. Because even back then, Stephanie and I, we love a good live performance.
Come on.
So this song has a very, very tall order to uphold. The thing about Ray, I was like, what is it about Ray that makes him so memorable, especially to the coaches?
Right.
Because, I remember thinking back to D Smooth, after he and Allie did their duet, Kelly said, I ain't heard nobody sing like that since the 90s.
Right.
Well, Blake said the same thing about Ray last night.
Right.
He said, man, you sound like a 90s singer.
Right.
And that again goes, that's a huge compliment. Coming from a country western boy.
Oh, yeah.
You sound like a 90s R&B singer.
Like, what you know about it?
Stephanie, I will tell you, 90s R&B male singers, you don't get better.
You don't.
You don't get better. So for Blake Shelton to tell you sound like a 90s singer,
yeah,
no. That Ray, I'd run with that.
Right.
Seriously. But here's the thing, that Ray's always going to give you a good vocal.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, is it great? Is it spectacular? That's arguable, right? We can argue about that all day.
Okay, we'll argue.
The thing I noticed about Ray is to me, I don't think, Stephanie, you're going to so disagree with me. I don't think Ray is the lead in the 90s. And Ray's in the super R&B group. He's in the Jagged Edge. He's in the Jodeci. He's in, he's in the High Five. I can go on and on with the same. He's in the I already said Jagged Edge. He's in what group was Cisco in? Drew Hill. He's in those groups, right? But he's not the lead singer. So he can sing his face off, but to me, I don't see that extra X factor. I personally, and that's so personal. I don't feel, Stephanie, I don't feel the X factor when I hear him singing. Was it a great vocal? It sure was. Was it a good vocal on a very difficult song?
Yeah.
That song is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But I didn't get the same feeling that I get from a Casey and JoJo. I didn't get the same feeling that I get from a Cisco. I didn't get the same feeling that I get from, the lead singer, from Slim, from 112.
I know.
I didn't get that. So I think he has a good blending supergroup 90s R&B voice. Is he a lead vocal? Not necessarily. Enough said. Stephanie.
Okay, so I think I actually disagree with Blake, and this is how I know Blake does not know his R&B.
Ooh.
Ray does not have a 90s R&B male vocal. He has a 2000s male R&B vocal for all the reasons
Stephanie is a connoisseur for the 90s.
Thank you. And I've already explained this, I believe, last week when I was talking about my Venn diagram of R&B male vocals.
Yes.
So, I appreciate him understanding that he is an R&B vocal, but he just got his decades incorrect. And what makes Ray a 2000s R&B vocal is the smoothness and the brightness of it. It has a little less grit.
Mm-hmm.
It's brighter.
Less Casey and JoJo.
A little less Casey and JoJo. It's brighter. And I think that we've described his voice also, or at least I know I have. Yes, I did, because I asked him not to be offended by me calling his voice pretty.
So it's a little bit more Carl Thomas, a little bit more John Legend. Like a little bit. Wait a minute.
Are they in groups or are they lead singers? Uh-oh. Is Usher in a group or is he a lead singer? Is, who's the other one? Omarion. Well, Omarion was in a group, but he went solo. Mario, is he in a group or is he a lead vocalist? I believe that he was as well. This is what I will say about Ray. Ray's X factor for me is his voice is absolutely authentic. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and the way that he emotes a song is, I won't say like no other, but the way that he emotes a song is very authentic and it feels real. I felt
definitely authentic.
It's authentic, and it might not be the most demonstrative vocal, but it's real. I felt that he was, I felt him, and I felt the heartbreak when he was talking about in his rehearsal how he had went through a heartbreak, and I felt all those things as he was singing this song. I think that there is room for all of our R&B male vocalists in this competition, and I think that some voices are a little bit more dramatic, like a Magnus. Magnus is more of a smooth 80s, 90s R&B male singer. D Smooth is a more 90s Jodeci kind of with a gospel inflection male vocalist. But I love that Ray stays in his lane and executes flawlessly. These are the things that I think Ray does really well. Because he goes about everything in a really quiet way. He is an underdog in this competition, but his execution of the things that he does well is really flawless. His tone is gorgeous. His sense of pitch is always on point.
He doesn't miss.
He does not miss. His runs are so smooth. And the falsettos that he did at the end of the song, I thought that those melodic choices were really smart and really impactful. And those were the key change and the falsetto are when the judges really responded to him, because those are the things that he does well. Like that key change was right in a really money part of his voice. And he executed that amazingly. And I was not expecting him to go into his falsetto at the end of the song. And I thought that that was a really brilliant choice. So I love the performance because I felt him. I thought that he sold the song.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
I really did.
And you know what, Stephanie, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because R&B singing is not one-dimensional.
It's not.
And we all have what we really like and what we're really drawn to, especially when it comes to R&B. So you and I in R&B singing, because we're so familiar with the genre, that we like what we like, right? We have our specific artists that are just, as my dogs, real life people. My dogs are crashing before we get in here, but they're not getting in here today. We like what we like, and maybe that's, I'm bringing my unconscious bias to R&B music, especially that 20-year span of the 90s and 2000s, to what I want to hear. And if you think about, to your point, Stephanie, if you break down every male R&B singer in, and this has nothing to do with color, because there are some white R&B singers.
Right. Come on, John B.
No, I'm talking about on the season.
Oh, on the season.
Riley.
Yes.
If you think of because it is very male R&B heavy this season, you think of no two sound the same. And they all, like, to your point, you were like, Magnus has the 80s into 90s smoothness. You take Jamar, who has like more 70s soul,
right?
R&B, right?
And you
I
didn't even think about Jamar. Yeah, absolutely.
Pure 90s.
Yeah,
pure 90s.
Yes.
And then you got Ray, who's 2000s,
right?
And then you got Michael B and Riley,
right?
And what they bring. So yeah, you're right. You know what, Ray? You all right. Because you know what? Bottom line, I can say all I want, but you execute flawlessly. You've given flawless vocals every time.
And let me tell you about Ray. In the in the rehearsal portion where they were doing his talking interview portion, I don't even know if he was on camera when he said this or whether this was kind of just in the background. But this is how I knew that Ray was here to compete. And he said it in his quiet, just smooth, just unassuming way. But I was like, oh, you here to win. He said, I have a history of taking down 4 chair turns.
And I
said, what?
I didn't catch that.
He said, I have a history of taking down 4 chair turns.
Yeesh. Okay. He ain't come to play, he came to slay.
And listen, Noivas was a 4 chair turn. NariYella was a 4 chair turn. And I will share that Chance chose Ray to move ahead in the competition.
Ray was a 1 chair turn. Yep. He's like the Justin Aaron of this season. Like,
watch out.
He can make a deep run.
Watch out.
Yeah. Awesome. Stephanie, I was sad to see NariYella go.
Me too.
But what gave me peace was to hear how excited Niall was about NariYella, and how he said if he had already used his steel, he would have picked up NariYella heartbeat.
I believe that.
And that was I think Niall would have been great with her.
Yeah, I do too.
Great with her, because I think that, to what we were talking about with NariYella giving this type of vocal, Niall was like, okay, I can work with that. She's just not the big bombastic singer, right?
Right. I'll have to look back, because I can't remember the feedback that Chance gave NariYella. Do you? Because I was really surprised that he didn't choose her.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I just remember Chance falling all over Ray.
He fell all over Ray, as they all did. They all did. Absolutely.
Even Blake, who usually doesn't say outside of his genre.
Right.
Yo, that was crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So who do we have next?
Up next was from Team Blake. It was Kylee Dane and Walker Wilson. Kylee sang All By Myself by Eric Carmen, but she did the Celine Dion version. And Walker sang Ain't Living Long Like This by Waylon Jenkins.
I love that. I love it.
Ooh.
Stephanie?
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm getting emotional just thinking about this performance.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing was that Reba warned America. She warned America.
She did.
Because, yeah, you made Reba McEntire tear up.
Right.
So, and I heard, I was scared because Kylie's not known as a power ballad singer. Kylie's one of the baddest singers on this show.
Yes.
But she came off of singing Taylor Swift.
Right.
Anti-hero.
Right.
In the battles.
Right.
With Mary Kate. And so when I was like, is she? This is one of those songs that somebody, when you hear somebody is going to do it. And then I heard the rehearsal and it was good, but it was what I thought was going to happen with the song.
Mm-hmm.
But then they showed Reba crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have prepared myself.
Yeah.
Because I got transported somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like, I got transported to an extremely vulnerable place. The thing that makes this song so incredibly difficult is, to me, where the song starts to where it ends. Mm-hmm. Because the attack that you have to have at the end of this song is the polar opposite.
Polar.
To the timidity.
Come on.
That you have to have at the beginning of the song.
Yeah.
This song calls for, and rarely in a song, because the song is so brilliantly written, rarely in a song does a song call for you to be timid. Mm-hmm. When I was young, I didn't need anyone, mm-hmm. and so on and so on, so mm-hmm. on and so forth. You have to be almost timid with it.
Yeah.
And she started that song in such a vulnerable place. Mm-hmm. Like, I was already in my feelings for like 3 notes. And then stack it on top of Kylee, because the beginning of the song is 100% what you and I and everyone, and Kelly, what we all knew of Kylee, right?
Right.
Kylie's going to bring you in. Mm-hmm. She's going to bring you in. She's going to hold you. She's not going to grab you by the collar like a Noivas, but she's going to be right in your face.
That's right.
Looking at you,
That's
looking into your soul.
That's right.
And that's what she did. Mm-hmm. And then the chorus came. Mm-hmm. And then it's beyond a snap. We got to think of a new word, Stephanie. It's beyond a snap.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like Kylee said, "Wait one moment. Let me. I have another singer back here mm-hmm. in my reserve. Mm-hmm. Oh no, let me go back, because I almost forgot the Chris Stapleton School of." Mm-hmm. There's a part of that song where Kylee did this run.
It was the beginning of the second verse.
It was the beginning of the second verse. And Kelly Clarkson almost lost her shit.
Yes, she
really
did.
Almost lost it. She said, she turned to Chen, she said, I didn't know that she had that. And Kelly Clarkson already said, singers, you're one of those singers that people hate.
That's right.
Because you're so good. She said that last week, or last time they battled.
Yes.
Kelly was like, oh, no, she is not I said to Stephanie earlier, she is encroaching upon my territory.
That's right. That's right.
So she did this run. And Kylie's another one of those singers that I think, like Noiva, I think you need, if you watch this, Noiva, I need you to watch what Kylee does, because Kylie will pull out she's got secret weapons, y'all. She's got secret weapons. So she did the Chris Stapleton, what he did at the Star Spangled Banner this year at the Super Bowl, where this run, like, and you're like, oh, and you're like, oh. Like, we were doing like that with Allie the entire song.
Yes.
She did this one effective run that was so effective.
Yes.
You just, like, it just hits you.
Yeah.
Hits you.
Yeah.
Like, boom, like in your chest.
Yeah.
And then Kylie said, all right, I'll be right back. Hold on, I need to take a break. And called, I don't know who she called in to finish that.
Her Sasha Fierce. She called her Sasha Fierce came in.
Called in her finisher.
The closer.
The closer.
The closer.
The anchor.
The anchor.
Y'all, she said, hold on 1 minute, I'll be right back. I'll see you at the end of this song. But right
as the music was like, ding, ding, ding.
She's like, let me tap ding. Out. Kylie tapped out.
And the closer came in.
No, Kylie Dane tapped out.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Tapped in.
Yeah. Kylie.
Like Muhammad Ali.
Kylie
tapped in.
I love that. It was a wrap.
Over.
It was a wrap.
It was done. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about for the entire night. There was nothing else that was going to follow, and there was nothing that came before, as far as I was concerned. Mm-hmm. And we had some monster singers to follow.
Absolutely.
Second.
Absolutely.
But Kylee showed up. And
showed out.
What she did on the what's the part?
By myself anymore.
Like,
yes.
I'm not sing it, but y'all, and the scary thing is it was so effortless. Mm-hmm. She looked at home in the Kylee section of the song versus the Kylie Dane section of the song.
That's right.
And that's what's scary about you, young lady. That's what's scary about you. And you know what? Let me talk about this for a second. Let me get real with you, Kylie Dane. I'm going to get real with you. You not only have a place, you are leading.
Come on.
So don't you ever think you don't belong. Because not only do you have a place, you are leading it. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got to say, Stephanie.
There's not much more to say. Everything you said, I co-sign, I retweet, hashtag ridiculous, hashtag sheesh, hashtag dang, hashtag oh my word, hashtag Mariah run. It was incredible. And this is what I will say, the performance aspect of it. She stood there and sang. And James was weeping. That tells me, and that tells all of us as performers and as artists, that we can be demonstrative, but we can also emote just with our face, just with our voice, just with our choices, our vocal choices. It was really impactful. It was really skillful. It was daring. You on the show doing Celine Dion. You're doing one of
the pop singers of all time, if you talk about pop music.
And one of her biggest songs and one of her hardest songs. So
that's like Omar last year.
That's like Omar. Yes.
When he did My Heart Will Go On.
Yes. Yeah. Well done. That's all I can say. And that's an understatement. Well done.
But the scary thing is we knew Omar had that vocal, right?
Yes.
Kelly kept saying it. Kelly's like, where did this, does she have 2 vocal cords? Like, it's in her throat. What's going on? She tapped out and Kylee tapped in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Nuts.
So Walker had to follow Kylee, and I was excited. I wasn't nervous for Walker because you could already tell Walker is so confident in his lane and his gift.
Yeah.
That Walker was going to do Walker, right?
Right.
He was going to do Walker regardless of whatever preceded him.
Right.
And I personally, as an artist, as a singer, I'd have been terribly intimidated to follow what Kylee did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going home. Right. But Walker said, you know what? I'm going to get up here and I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do the darn thing. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it well. I'm going to execute it well. I love the joy that Reba had on her face when Walker was singing to her.
Yes.
So, like, Reba was like, this boy.
But she liked her some Walker.
He did. Well,
she liked her some Walker.
He said, oh, he's a lot cuter. So she did. So she really liked her some Walker. And Walker, if it was anyone else, Walker would have been through, in my opinion. Because Walker's that strong of a country singer on this show. And prior to this week and even this week, Walker would have taken most out. But you can't take out Ali, right?
Right.
You can't take out, I'm the greatest. No, you can't take out, to me, which was arguably the greatest performance of the night.
Yeah.
And maybe of the season. So I and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I was sad to see Walker go. But I thought Walker was true and he was honest with his performance and said, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. And Walker gave a great vocal. And y'all, don't sleep on Walker. Walker's got that grit. That grit that I love.
Right.
Like that southern, soulful country grit.
Right.
In his voice that I just can't get enough of.
Right.
Like Walker's someone I'd want to go to his concert and sit in on a set with him because I think anything Walker would sing would just be entertaining and it'd be just a great time.
Absolutely.
I love his voice.
Absolutely.
Love it. So I was sad to see him go.
Yeah.
So what's your take on Walker?
Yeah, I thought that his vocal execution was spot on. Like always. He gave us that grit. He gave us that country. This song reminded me a lot of Bryce Leatherwood's Trouble in the tempo and the fun.
To me, what won Bryce The Voice last season, right?
Absolutely. And when I closed my eyes and did not watch, I thought the performance was great.
Yeah.
What I thought, though, was that Walker was a little bit lacking in the actual performance aspect of it because his face was very this.
Okay.
He was singing it, and it was just very, very not emoting a lot in his face. But it was funny because at the end he gave like a little woo or, he did something like that. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you were having fun, but I just would have wanted a little bit more personality because the vocal was so strong and the song was so right that I felt like maybe somebody would steal him if the whole entire package would have been there. Yeah. But again, I think Walker might just need some more reps on a stage in order to get that.
I agree.
That personality and that performance aspect of it. But I love the vocal. Like I was in there rocking because the vocal was insane. It was great.
Yeah.
Perfect song choice. But Kylee was just so good. She was just so good.
Yeah.
She was just so good.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So our final performance of the evening.
Yes.
Which was our Friday afternoon, early evening leak.
Yes.
So we had a long time to marinate.
Yes, we did.
You notice I said marinate, not
Marinate. No.
Marinate. This epic knockout round.
Oof. Incredible.
Two of the best.
Yes.
Two of the best.
Yes.
And that would be who, Stephanie?
It would be from Team Kylee. We had Kate Martin, and she sang All the Man I Need by the Whitney Houston. And then we had Kala Banham, and she sang Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
You see, I'm shaking my head at both.
Ooh, I know.
You couldn't go to two polar opposites of genres of children with the songs, other than the fact that they're both from the 90s.
That's right. That's
about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, like Stephanie said, when you hear of singers, like I said with Kylie Jane, when you hear of singers choosing the big three as they're known, as in no and arguably particular
order,
Whitney, Mariah, Celine, right?
Yeah.
Hear the big three, you get nervous.
That's right.
Because we've heard over the years, over the 20-some odd years of reality TV singing competitions, we've heard some crash and burns
right.
with the big three.
Mm-hmm.
But we've also heard some magnificent performances. And this was one of the most magnificent performances of the big three that I've heard in a very long time.
Come on.
Kate, no, you did not have the nerve to come on this show and give us one of Whitney's most difficult, I wouldn't say one of her most popular songs.
Right.
This was not an iconic Whitney song. Stephanie and I would call it iconic.
All right.
I mean, we followed Whitney's whole catalog, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to know this song is to know that this was one of Whitney's most difficult songs, because this song has almost a gospel, like CeCe Winans could have sung this song and it would have
right.
would have hit the same way. Because this song has like a gospel choir sound behind it.
Yes.
In the background vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And you can interchange the words with God or whatever you believe. He fills me up.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Come on.
All the God that I need. You can do whatever you want with this song.
Hallelujah.
And the reason why Stephanie and I call these people the big three is because when they take a power ballad, it starts off almost timid. Mm-hmm. In the singing, and by the end, you're slayed out on the floor. Like you're just laid out. And Kate, we've already seen from you. I guess the only thing that made Kylie's performance more like, because we didn't know that of Kylie.
Yes.
I should have known. I said, well, Kate's going to pick this song. Kate's a very smart singer. If she's going to pick this song, it's going to be ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know it'd be stratospheric.
Right.
Like, I didn't know it would be that memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Kate, you're one of the few singers out here that are singing, like in this singing game, in this game called entertainment, that can take a song like a Whitney Houston song and make it sound like Kate.
Yeah.
And like you did this thing at the end, you said, like you did, like nobody does that. That's you. 100% you.
Yes.
Now it was a lot higher and a lot prettier, and it was just, and you know what? Blake and Kelly got it wrong, Kate. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. If Kelly and Blake watch the podcast, I hope they do. If they watch the podcast, I'm going to say, y'all got it wrong. There was no issue of pitch on this song. 0. Stephanie put her good ears in. I put my good ears. Stephanie put her even better ears in. And I can vouch for Stephanie's husband when I say her even better ears, because this man has one of the greatest sense of relative pitch that I know. And I've been in this game for a minute. And he and I have had long conversations about perfect pitch and relative pitch and key and hearing tones and pitches and things. I'd love to have that conversation with your husband, Allie, and me, because we could go crazy with that conversation.
Oh, wow.
Digress. Cait, Stephanie put her best ears in.
Yes.
and talking to her husband. I'm going to let her expound on that. But she put her best ears in, and we heard nothing except flawless singing.
Come on.
Flawless singing, flawless technique, flawless emoting, flawless choices, flawless X Factor, flawless additions. Because that I did with my voice that Cait does, it was a scary performance.
It was.
Has another dirty knife.
Yes.
Terribly dirty.
Very.
In the best way. Stephanie.
In the best way. Not much to add.
But you got a minute to marinate over this, Stephanie. I really want to know what you have to say.
Well, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. The dynamics that she gave us. The breath control at the beginning of the song, where it's
sleep at night,
where it has to be so controlled and timid, to go where it went by the end, vocally ridiculous. She is just a class act all around. The fit, and what I mean by fit is her outfit, her dress was spot on. Her hair was like, she just looked the part. Regal. The key change, the way that she moved her body in certain parts. I was like, you better do a little hip flip with the hand flip. Come on. She does.
I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
One more thing real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I will lose this thought. Boyfriend, I want to meet you, bruh. I want to meet you. I'm going to tell you why I want to meet you. Because if you watch the playback, like if you watch the whole show, she talked about, well, you know what? I found somebody that fills me up. Like,
come on.
Like I found, and they featured him and they showed him and did he meet her on the ship? Like, was he a performer too?
I don't remember.
Something in my mind says he is, but but that's besides the point. Dude, like, if you're inspiring your girl the way you are, can I get your number so I can? Hey, can you DM Pitchy Podcast? Because I need to talk to your boyfriend.
And then once you find out what he has to say, you text my husband. Okay. Woo is right.
Cait said, I can sing this song.
She was singing that from a real place.
I have found.
Yes.
True love.
Yes. And speaking of my husband, I did have him listen. Like he was going to watch with me anyway, but he had already heard what I had to say about this based on us watching this as the leak. So he had heard all weekend me talking about, I don't know what Blake was talking about. So when we were watching Monday evening, I said, I really want you to listen to this vocal and I want you to give me an honest assessment about what you hear. Like, and we are hearing.
Did you ramp him up for it, or did you tell him anything leading?
I told him what Blake had said because I've been complaining about it. Yeah. I've been complaining about it all weekend. But
listening for.
So he was specifically listening for, and I said, I want you to be honest with me because if I'm not hearing something, I want to know. So I'm not sitting here hating on Blake for having this opinion that he had. And again, we're watching on TV, just plain ears, whatever. So if you're going to hear something, you're going to hear it in that venue more than anything. We got done, and he was basically like, she needs to just win the show. I said, did you hear anything? He said, I heard nothing. No pitch issues, no sharpness, nothing. He was like, she just needs to go ahead and win this competition because it was that outstanding. And it was just that outstanding. That's all I have to say. It was outstanding. It was outstanding. And what I think that happened is that we're watching TV, and we have to remember that we are watching a TV show, a produced TV show. This segment was at the very end of the show. So, of course, they want to create a little bit of drama or whatever. In the rehearsal, Kylee alluded to the fact that she thought that Cait was a little bit sharp in places in the song in her rehearsal, which she could have been in the rehearsal, and that's fine. It is very interesting, though, that the way that things were edited once you got to the coach's feedback is Blake was saying that, and the only thing that Blake really said about Cait is that she was sharp. I'm going to believe that that's not the only thing that Blake said, because in that moment, he came off very cold. And I know that that could not have been the only thing he said based on her entire performance. So I think that that was a little bit of production editing to make a TV show. And based on the way things ended up shaking out in the end, it was kind of a surprise. And they did have us believe that it might be leading in a certain way. And then it ended up the way that it did. So all of that to say, Cait, you gave an incredible performance. And that's it. And you sang Whitney. You sang Whitney down. You sang one of Whitney's hardest songs down. So congratulations. Congratulations.
Leading us to the final performance of the night, Kala singing the Goo Goo Dolls. Here's the thing, Stephanie, about Kala. I knew, number one, Kala wasn't going to be intimidated.
Right.
Number two, it was going to be a flawless vocal before she even opened her mouth.
Right.
And number three, it was going to be as special, but in a completely different way, but as special as Cait's performance.
Yes.
Okay? That's crazy, because with going back to Kylee, I wasn't expecting it. Going back to Cait, I was a little nervous because it was Whitney. Mm-hmm. But to Kala, I said, Kala's going to come in and she's going to make another undeniable, not plea, but undeniable statement.
Yes.
To say, I'm a front runner in this competition.
Yes.
And nobody can do what I can do.
Right.
On this show. Right. No one can tell a story like I can. No one can manipulate their voice like I can. And no one can bring people in like I can, to the point that you made earlier about Kala and some other singers, really watching Kala's performance and watch that Kala will give you, she's not demonstrative. She doesn't give you a big bombastic performance, but Kala will bring you in because she'll give you face.
Right.
And she looks for that close up.
Right.
The close up loves her.
Yes.
It really, really loves her. Mm-hmm. So Kala, again, it was sensational.
Absolutely.
Did. And I must say, I didn't hear it at first. It took a few listens for me to realize. Because Stephanie, remember, I was like, it was good. It was Kala. But Stephanie said, no. Go back, put in your good ears, and really check your ears, James. That's basically what she said indirectly. Stephanie said to me indirectly, she said, check your ears. And I went back and I checked my ears. And it's flawless. Flawless intonation, like the rise and fall of your voice, Kala. Flawless the way you end the line. Flawless range. Flawless the way you emote. Flawless choices.
Come on, Choice.
Here's another one. She can record in many different genres, and it's going to be fire. Any genre that she picks is going to be fire, because she's so good. And she's someone that, to me, like kind of like Perigita last season, where she could just stand there and sing.
Yes.
And everything that she's going to sing is going to be just like artistry.
Yes.
Artistry personified.
Yes.
And that's what I have to say. I knew I wasn't worried about either of these ladies. I really wasn't. But Stephanie, you tell me. Because I know you love this.
Yes, I did. Everything that you said, again, I will co-sign. She's such an incredible storyteller. She is such an incredible emoter. And that's why I want Gina to come to Kala's class of emoting and performance, because that would take Gina's entire performance to the next level, although she's already incredible, of course. I said, come on, range, because the range that she showed in this song was incredible. The melodic choices that she did. She, again, dynamics masterclass, like just the rise and fall of her voice. It was gorgeous. I'm not going to belabor the point because there's no point. She made the song cry.
Right.
She made the song cry. There was a puddle of tears on the stage without one tear dropping from her face. She just left all of her emotions on that stage in the most gorgeous of ways. Her performance was undeniable. And I, along with you, did not think that there was any way either one of them was going to go home.
I remember you said on Friday, you called me, you said, ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
No way.
Ain't no way. Not the way Cait sang.
You said when you pick up
no
way.
Not the way Cait sang, and not the way Kala followed that. There's no way. There's no way. So let's take you to the results. So I don't want to say despite. I will say despite the feedback from the coaches, which was a little bit more Kala heavy, Kylee picked Cait to win that knockout.
That was strategic.
Yes.
She could have gone either way.
She could have.
But I knew she could not afford to lose.
That's right. That's right. So, as Kala was saying her thank yous, Blake hit his button to steal her. And so she's thinking, oh, I'm on Team Blake. 2 seconds later, Chance hit his button as well. And they began to verbally battle for Kala to pick each of them. And Kala and the mic got dropped because...
dropped that mic. He said, boom. What did he say, Stephanie?
What did he say? Something about like he was playing the long game.
I'm playing the long game. Remember, I turned for you.
Yes.
I can't tell you that somebody else, and he looked down the aisle, turned for you, because he didn't.
That's right.
And remember, I tried to steal you.
Yes.
Before.
Yes. Yeah. And that was enough to make Kala say, I want to be on Team Chance. Huge pickup for Chance.
Pickup.
Huge
Both.
pickup. Yes.
The fact that that Kala got picked up by Chance and Tasha got picked up.
Yes.
By Niall, both of them.
Huge.
This is a game. These were two game changer pickups for both of those teams, as them being the two new coaches of the season.
Absolutely.
Because new coaches tend to not have what people think are the front runners of the show.
Right.
And both Tasha and Kala are front runners of the show. So this was huge pickups for both of them.
Absolutely.
Well, Stephanie, we have been talking for, this has been a marathon. We're in the long haul too.
Yes.
This is a marathon episode, but we knew this was going to happen. All right, Stephanie. So that was a long episode, but an incredible episode, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
And it was worth the 2-week wait. So tell the Pitchy Podcast crew what they need to hear.
So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. And as you know, we are on YouTube now. Please search for the Pitchy Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
Don't want to be by myself
anymore. Hallelujah.
Until we meet you all again next week, everyone enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye-bye.